Hey guys, this is Mrs. MacPhail. This is lesson 2-5, and in this lesson we're going to be doing change stories. So Mr. Nutty says, I can write number sentences to solve change stories. He is super excited and I hope that you are too, because we can do this. All right, here's an example of a change story. Mr. Nutty had $76 in his bank account. Did you know that squirrels have bank accounts? Anyway, he withdrew $29. How much money was in his bank account then? Well, before we can go any further, we have to define some words here. Withdrew means to take out. So for example, you can take money out of a bank account, you can withdraw acorns from a nest, you get it. We're also later going to talk about deposit, but we'll come back to that. So anyway, Mr. Nutty had money in his bank account, and then he withdrew, or he took out $29. So how much money was in his bank account then? Let's go ahead and look at how we're going to be doing our change problems. And this is what you'll see. You'll see a start box, a change box with an arrow, meaning that we're changing our starting number to a different number at the end, all right? Our first number is what we're starting with, and the number that we're starting with, if we go back to our story, is $76. That's the first number that we're working with here. So our first number is 76. We are going to change that, and this is how we know the change. Because in our story it says that he started with $76 and then he took out $29. So it's like I give you 76 and I take away 29. Well, you know that take away is a word for subtract. So we need to subtract $29 from $76. So you can do the math. 76 minus 29. 9 minus 6 you cannot do, so you have to borrow from the 70s. So you have 160 left over. And then you bring a 10 over to the 6, which makes that 16. 9 from 16 would give you 7. And then 2 from 6 would give you 4. So 4 10s and 7 1s gives you $47 left over. So in the end, Mr. Nutty had a shopping spree and it was still left over with $47 to spend on hopefully more acorns. Cool beans. So let's move on to our next one. And that was an example of subtracting. And let's take a look at an example for adding now. Pretty similar to what we kind of did today, only set up a little bit different. So Pete the Prairie Dog had $29 in his bank account. Did you even know that prairie dogs have bank accounts? Because I certainly didn't. Well, anyway, Raccoon deposited $31 in Pete the Prairie Dog's bank for his birthday. How nice was that? That's pretty sweet. Anyway, how much money does Pete the Prairie Dog now have? We noticed that in here we talked about Raccoon depositing money. That's the opposite of withdrawing money. If withdrawing means to take it out, depositing means that you're going to put it in. So maybe you put in money to your bank account or you put in acorns to your nest. That's what depositing means. So if we go back to our story, we see that Pete the Prairie Dog started with $29 in his bank account, and then thanks to Raccoon, who gave him or put in $31 more, we now need to find out how much money Pete has. So let's go ahead and take a look at our change to less, which is actually going to be kind of a change to more now, so my title should be different up here. Let's fix that. Change to more. That's what I call a Mac fail sometimes. Okay, we started with how much money? Pete started with $29 in his bank account. $29. We're going to change that, right? Because Raccoon added money in. Raccoon deposited $31. So if you deposit something, you are putting it in there. So you're adding to a total, or you're adding to a previous number, which means that this is going to be an addition problem, plus 31. So let's find our ending number, 29 plus 31. Oops, that's kind of a weird 9. 9 plus 1 would be 10, so we're going to drop the 0 and carry the 1 in the tens place. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 6, 3 is 6, so 60 would be our total amount. Now ask yourself, does that make sense? It does, because he started with a certain amount of money, he got more money, so it would make sense that our ending number would be a bigger number. Now we could write a number sentence for this, and it would be 29 plus 31 is equal to 60. That would be our number sentence or our number story for this problem. If I asked you what the units would be, you would say that the units would be dollars because we are talking about money here. If you were to go back to the other problem, we could write a number sentence for this too. 76 is what we started with. We took away $29 and we ended up with $47. And the unit here again would be dollars. Great job, you guys. Do the problems on the quiz and we'll see you in class. Bye-bye.